From Studio 1A in Tampa, Florida, comes a talk show that really feels your pain and tells you like it is. We love America and all that freedom-loving Americans want to protect. Live from coast to coast and on your radio, it's For the People with Keith Allen.
Making America Great, one listener at a time. This is For the People, and I'm Keith Allen on this Wednesday, February the 15th, 2017. So glad that you tuned in. And one of the ways that we are making America great again and Israel great again is Bibi is actually having a warm welcome as we speak right now. The First Lady meeting with the wife of Benjamin Netanyahu. And they're at the White House right now. They're going to be having a joint news conference with the president. And what a great sign of respect. This has not taken place. And what a beautiful First Lady. I am just very, very excited about the prospects of a stronger, more unified relationship with Israel, something that has not taken place in 8 years under the Obama administration for whatever reason that he might have had. With not liking Netanyahu, but now to be able to forge a more solid, unified relationship with the Jewish folks, that's a terrific thing. And look, I'm an evangelical Christian. I love Jewish people, okay? I think they're terrific. They're big league, as Donald Trump would say. But seriously, it's been very upsetting to me. This anti-Israel movement that took place with a lot of progressives that actually supported it, was all for it. And then on his way out, don't forget, he offers the Palestinians tens of millions of dollars for their fight. And these are the idiots. They're setting off bombs and sending their people over to Israel. You never hear Jewish people hopping over the fence or launching Scud missiles and all sorts of craziness and wreaking havoc. It's not that. It's the Palestinians. Then you offer money to these terrorist groups, and then you have Iran that funds Hezbollah. It's just a mess. You know, I mentioned the Russian ship yesterday, the spy ship. I know a lot of people say, yeah, don't react. We got spy ships, too. They're testing Trump. That's what everybody says, you know, talking about it around the water cooler. It's not a big deal. They're just trying to intimidate him. But the problem is, they got missiles on there, and we don't know exactly what they're packed with, but it's illegal. It goes back to post-World War II. They're not supposed to have this stuff, international waters. And right now, the ship was spotted, 30 miles south there in New Jersey. Yeah. I mean, that's to me a little bit. I got to relook at this. 30 miles? Are you kidding me? No, it is true. It's Groton, Connecticut. It was in Delaware. Now it's in Connecticut, but it remained in international waters. Everybody said, this is the AP, everybody making sure that they haven't invaded us. But the U.S. territorial boundary extends 12 miles from the coast, just 12 miles. And, the Russian spy ship was currently loitering in the water, according to the U.S. officials. So what are they going to do about it? This would be interesting. Chris Murphy, he tweets, he says, Russia's acting like it has permission to slip in to expand influence and test limits of reach. Questions are obvious, does it? If so, why? So we're trying to figure all this out. Hopefully, if you're like this American, I'm really trying to figure out what's going on. You know, Russia also deployed for the first time a ground-based nuke capability cruise missile inside Russia, which violates a decades-old arms treaty between Moscow and Washington. And now they're sending what kind of message? What kind of message? It's very disturbing. I don't like it. Makes me feel a little bit uneasy. And just because, given the mere fact, intelligence, we were just told by the State Department, is you have Iranian dignitaries heading over to the Kremlin. So they're cozying up. Then you got North Korea flexing their muscles, Iran flexing their muscles. I mean, what the heck is going on? And you know what it is? 8 years of failed policy. The Russian reset clearly did not work. And now you have a sheriff in town, a new sheriff in town. Yes, they're testing the brass, testing the strength, testing what the resolve is going to be. What is the resolve? What is it going to be? I hope it's going to be some tough talk like a Ronald Reagan. I mean, you know, I know you can't just whip off stuff. And hopefully they're putting something together. It's going to be some pretty powerful language. But we need to certainly crack down on them and say, look, you know, you're violating it. Get those missiles out of here or we're going to remove them for you. I know, that's me talking. All right, so Nancy Pelosi yesterday, the big hoopla, is about Twitters. And, you know, Donald Trump has been talking a lot about the, you know, fake news where people actually don't check it out. Well, fake news happened, and it does happen. And it's been checked out and verified about a supposed tweet that came from Michael Flynn. And we read it. We read it. And why did we read it? Well, why do you think so? Because everybody took the fake news and regurgitated it. On the Associated Press, the New York Times, the Washington Post, LA Times, you name it. Fox News even. CNN, you name it. The problem is, General Flynn never, ever texted that message. He hasn't even said anything since last December. House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Representative Elijah Cummings spouting off at the mouth, and the New York Times learned that lesson the hard way come yesterday late, when all three were fooled into quoting a fake Twitter account. And so many other news agencies as well. And this mix-up across the resignation of National Security Advisor Michael Flynn left the White House on Monday night after revelations that he misled Vice President Pence about a December phone call Flynn had with a Russian official early Tuesday morning. The account, at General Mike Flynn, seemingly shared the retired lieutenant general's thoughts on his ouster. Well, I fully accept responsibility for my actions. I feel it is unfair that I have been made the sole scapegoat for what happened, but if a scapegoat is what is needed for this administration to continue to take this great nation forward, I am proud to do my duty. The account tweeted in a pair of messages, but it was not Michael Flynn that we know. So during a news conference, Pelosi and Cummings used the tweets, and you heard them spouting off. Madam Leader, just this morning, Flynn tweeted, and is a, quote, scapegoat, end of quote. Scapegoat? He basically described himself as a scapegoat, said Cummings of Maryland. Pelosi of California added, I have a tweet I'm going to make. I'm telling my staff right now, it's not scapegoat, it's Stonewall. And that's exactly what the Republicans in Congress are doing. Just one of the problems, of course, the account had nothing to do, like I said, with a real Flynn. With a real Michael Flynn, please stand up. Thank you, Slim Shady. So the New York Times also used the tweets in its story of Flynn's resignation. The paper issued an online correction at the bottom of its report after discovering the error. And also, because of an editing error, an earlier version quoted 3 posts from an unverified Twitter account purporting to be Mr. Flynn's responding to the resignation, the correction said. So, folks, be also careful. And yours truly as well. But we're here to correct them, retract them, what have you. But very interesting who started that Twitter account. And hopefully they'll be able to identify where the IP came from, the location, all of that. And guess what? We got people that are smart enough, gifted enough, whatever you want to call it. They're nerds. This is what they do. And they're able to do it. So I hope to God somebody gets reprimanded for that. But that's what was bad. But, the bottom line is, like we said it yesterday, and so many like Sean Spicer and Kellyanne Conway said that, look, the guy lied. It was a bad thing that he did. There was no need to do it. He did it. Bad judgment, whatever. But, things happen for a reason. And maybe he wasn't the right guy for the job. Everybody thought he was. Trump thought he was. He wouldn't have been in the position. He would have been sworn in. But all of that, all of the grilling, all of the grilling for the Democrats to just get him into that position and then that. But, it went back. It wasn't just that. It was a culmination. It was a buildup. But, yeah, that was the straw that kind of broke it. And as the president, you got to do something. By the way, we do have a guest today. And if you're ever wanting to know about tax reform, I have a guy who is very intelligent to break it all down, Michael Stumo. He is an author. He's a writer, a lecturer. And the good, the bad, and the ugly GOP tax reform. He says the tax reform plan is very bold and includes some very helpful conceptual shifts, but it has some very strange results, too. He says, let's take a look at how it matches up against CPA's preferred tax reform for trade competitiveness. And he has got a lot of good information to break it down with you. That'll be coming up the second half hour. We'll be dialing him up in just a little bit. And that'll be very interesting, and you may want to definitely turn up the radio, tell some friends about it. But he is very super knowledgeable about it, and he will communicate it in such a way, and I'll insist on it, that you, too, can actually understand these very things. So President Trump, let's get back into him, today suggested that the U.S. intelligence community may be illegally leaking sensitive information to hurt his administration, eventually ending a brief detonate with agencies he previously accused of working against him. Another Twitter. The Russian connection nonsense is merely an attempt to cover up the main mistakes made in Hillary Clinton's losing campaign. Another tweet. Information is being illegally given to the failing New York Times and Washington Post by the intelligence community, NSA, and FBI, ? Just like Russia. There are leaks in Washington, and I'm hoping that real patriots stand up against it if they have any foreknowledge and knowledge of it. And if they want united, we need to be united, folks. We got so many threats from here at home and abroad. We need to be united. This is no way to strengthen, to keep us safe. There's no way this going on is going to keep us and remain safe and secure and free and prosperous by this garbage going on. So I hope there is full-scale investigations, and if there's mass firings, you're fired in government. They need to be, wiped out. This is a draining of the swamp. This is what is going to have to take place at all levels. Of all levels of government, it's going to have to take place, all three. And it has to happen. I am just a firm believer of this, that there has to be a purging of it. It's kind of somewhat of a quasi-revolution. And, in many respects in this country, there is. It was kind of interesting. What we do as talk show hosts, not a surprise, is we try to stay on top of various thoughts and thinking and ideology, et cetera, to know how to articulate the message. And then, you got folks that get paid to critique, how we go about and push the envelope on the broadcast. And we do have consultants that we talk to help us better our platform here at For the People. So we do a better job bringing it to you. But talking about, of all things, liberalism. Yeah. And being what a liberal is, and progressivism. And, at first blush for any of those, liberalism or progressivism, they seem to be pretty logical things. However, they've both gone off the reservation. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, equality, and all of these other things for individual liberties. Terrific. These are